Imagine you've finally reached it. You've spent years running the numbers, checking your accounts, and wondering if that $1 million milestone is truly the finish line. You envision the moment you close your laptop for the last time, hand in your badge, and finally stop setting that Monday morning alarm. But for most people who actually hit that number, the feeling isn't the immediate relief they expected. Instead, it's a strange lingering anxiety. They find themselves asking if $1 million is actually enough to last until they're 95, or if inflation will quietly eat their lifestyle while they're supposed to be enjoying their hobbies. The truth is that a $1 million retirement is both more than enough and far more complicated than it sounds. It depends almost entirely on how you use it, when you start, and what you actually expect your life to look like. In the world of finance, the total number is often secondary to the actual strategy you use to manage it. Think about it this way. Most people begin their journey by opening a retirement calculator and plugging in their net worth with an expected return of maybe 7%. The screen tells them they're fine, and they feel great for about a week. Then, the real world creeps back in. The calculator doesn't know you want to travel internationally, or that you might need to help a grandchild with college, or that a sudden health condition could make long-term care a necessity. Retirement isn't just a math problem, it's a messy, unpredictable life. So the question isn't just whether you have enough money. The real question is whether you have enough for the specific life you want to lead. Hi, I am Imran. Let's look at two different couples to see how this works in practice. Both couples have exactly $1 million saved, and both are retiring at 65. Couple A lives in a modest home in a mid-sized city. They enjoy cooking at home, visiting family, and taking local road trips. Their monthly expenses are around $3,000. Couple B lives in a high-cost coastal city with a remaining mortgage. They've promised themselves that retirement is when they'll finally live large, with business-class international travel and expensive hobbies. Their expenses are closer to $6,000 a month. Using the 4% rule, a standard guideline for safe withdrawals, their $1 million portfolio provides $40,000 a year. Couple A is only withdrawing about 3% of their portfolio annually, meaning their money will almost certainly outlive them. Couple B, however, is withdrawing 6%. At that rate, they risk running out of money in their early 80s, right when they might need it most. Even with the exact same starting balance, one couple is in phenomenal shape, while the other is on a path toward a quietly stressful future. Now this part matters. When your money is invested across a diversified portfolio of index funds and bonds, $1 million can work harder than you ever did. At a conservative growth rate of 6 to 7%, that portfolio can generate significant returns, but you have to account for taxes, inflation, and the years when the market is down. While the 4% rule suggests you can safely take out about $3,300 a month from $1 million nest egg, many people forget about their secret weapon, Social Security. For a couple who has had solid lifetime earnings, Social Security benefits can provide several $1,000s a month on top of their portfolio withdrawals. This changes the entire equation. Suddenly, your portfolio doesn't have to carry the full weight of your lifestyle, which provides a massive buffer against stress. But here's where it gets more interesting. The timing of when you claim those benefits can be the difference between a struggling portfolio and a thriving one. Every year you delay Social Security past age 62, your benefit increases by roughly 6 to 8%. For many, drawing more from their portfolio early on to bridge the gap until age 70 is a brilliant strategic move. It essentially allows you to buy a larger guaranteed income stream for the rest of your life. However, you must also plan for the healthcare gap. If you retire before Medicare kicks in at 65, private insurance can cost you nearly $1,000 a month. And remember, what works for one person's situation won't always work the same for another, so these costs must be personalized to your own health and location. The real issue most people face isn't just the math. It's a psychological phenomenon called the saver's paradox. For decades, your security was tied to watching your balance go up. When you retire, that relationship inverts. Now you're supposed to watch the balance go down as you spend. For a lifelong saver, this can feel deeply wrong. Many retirees with millions of dollars still feel guilty booking a vacation or anxious when the market dips, even though they have decades of runway. The retirees who actually thrive are the ones who have done enough planning to give themselves permission to spend. They trust their strategy because they know their withdrawal rate is sustainable. There is one more critical risk that can destroy $1 million portfolio if you aren't careful. Sequence of returns risk. Imagine the market crashes 30% in the first 2 years of your retirement. If you are forced to sell your investments at their lowest point just to pay your bills, you are locking in those losses. This is why the first decade of retirement is so vital. To combat this, many successful investors use a bucket strategy. They keep 2 to 3 years of living expenses in a cash bucket that isn't touched by market volatility. They have a second bucket for medium-term needs and a third bucket for long-term growth in the stock market. When the market is down, they spend from the cash bucket and let their stocks recover. It's a simple concept that is emotionally difficult to execute, but remarkably effective at protecting your future. At the end of the day, a $1 million retirement isn't about private jets or endless luxury. It's about the slow, deeply satisfying experience of not worrying about money the way you used to. It's about the freedom to say yes to things without running mental calculations in the background. That shift from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance doesn't happen the moment you hit a certain number. It happens when you understand your strategy well enough to trust it. Whether you have $100,000 or $1 million today, the path is the same: living below your means, staying invested through the noise, and making boring, consistent decisions while others react emotionally. Compounding doesn't care what's trending, it just keeps doing its relentless work as long as you let it. The real goal of $1 million strategy isn't just a high net worth, it's the quiet, durable financial peace that comes from knowing you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. If you found this breakdown of retirement strategy helpful, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the math of financial freedom. Let me know in the comments, do you think the 4% rule is still safe in today's economy? Or are you aiming for a more conservative number?